lecture series. So in this video I will mainly discuss regarding the Python programming language. So if you are a aspiring machine learning programmer or data scientist, so hopefully I can at least assume that you already know what Python is, why it is a great tool and for data science and machine learning, and maybe you are already a very good programmer in Python. You explored different topics in Python, but as a programmer I would like to share few experience with you. And first of all, I would like to tell that for machine learning, the basics concept of Python programming will be sufficient. So if you have clear concept about the basic Python programming, then it is obviously a good starting point. So what I actually mean by the basic concepts of Python programming is that is that so you should what I actually mean by the basic concept of Python is that you should have the proper understanding of the following topics in Python, okay, such as the variables, okay, such as the variables and lists, the basic operations, the string formatting, basic string operation and the conditions, and functions, loops, classes, objects, dictionaries, and the modules and packages. Okay, so these are the very the fundamental things that you should know in Python. And I already told you some of the resources for learning Python, or you can check the description box of this video for more details. And apart from this basic topics, you should also, the two important packages are also frequently used in machine learning programming, and particularly the packages are NumPy and Pandas. Okay, so array, and so for NumPy basically we use the NumPy array. So and you should know the basic operation of how to deal with NumPy array. Okay, and Panda is usually used for data frame processing. So in machine learning you will be dealing with data frame or data sets, so you should know how to deal with this data frame. So basically you should be familiar with these two packages. Okay, so this is some basic suggestion, and so this is some basic suggestion. Another thing that as a data scientist sometime we have seen that the beginner have some wrong concept, that they think that they have to be very good at Python programming concepts before starting actually the business. Business means that analyzing the data using Python. But believe me, this is not a very right way to think. Okay, because as a data scientist or machine learning engineer, you are not going to develop any software application. Okay, but you will use Python for retrieving, cleaning, visualizing and building the models. Now you understand what I mean by models, right? In the last video I discussed this part. So so you need to understand that you as a machine learning engineer, you are going to use Python as a tool to analyze data. So data analysis, machine learning concepts and theory is much more important. So you have to be more focused on most of your time in learning the modules and libraries in Python to perform these tasks, rather than just use the Python as a programming language. Okay, so you should be more focused on the machine learning theory. Okay, and you are going to use the Python as a tool, just as a tool. Okay, so mm, uh, so so with this, if you are a beginner in Python programming, I would like to share some basic guidelines to how to write the Python code effectively. Okay, so first of all, uh, you should always remember that indentation in Python is very important. That means the spaces and tabs that are used at the beginning of a statement, it's very important. So because the statements with the same indentation belong to the same group. Okay, so you should be careful. Okay, so next point is that you should always use modularity in your code as much as possible, because modularity means you should use more functions. So your body of the main program should not be unnecessarily long. Okay, your main program should be very concise and precise, and you should use more functions, to more modules to your program. Okay, and the next thing that your code should be always clean and ready for deployment and sharing. And ready for sharing means you should use a particular Python environment which for every particular project, so that if you share your code, you can also share your Python environment, so that any other who are dealing with your code, they can reproduce your result. And that is very important thing. I will discuss more on this thing in the subsequent lecture, maybe in the next lecture. Okay, so next point that I'm going to discuss, that now you might be thinking what programming environment or what in a framework you are going to use to write the Python code. And it is a very good starting point. It is a very good starting point, or it is a very easy way to install the newest Python version with the latest version of the packages. And you can just Google search it and you can install the latest version of Python. And to install the new packages, you just need to use this pip install the package name. Suppose pip install numpy, pip install pandas. You can just use this command and to install it into your default Python environment. Okay, but I will suggest that you should not get into the trap of this easy method. Okay, this is very important. Okay, rather you should avoid the pip installation of your packages into your default Python environment. Then what you will do? You might be thinking what you should do. Okay, so for this, what I will suggest, that you should we will configure our programming environment. Okay, so that means for every project we will create a new programming environment. Okay, that means what I mean by programming environment is a set of packages that are required for a particular project. Okay, so for a particular project you will going to have a particular programming environment. Environment means a set of packages. Packages means numpy, pandas, scipy, this names. Okay, matplotlib. So it is and why you are going to do this? Because it is a much better way and to create a project specific environment. Okay, it will help you to reproduce the result if you share your code with some other body, share your code with others, so if they deal with your code, they can easily reproduce your results. So not only you are going to share your Python code, but along with your Python code you are going to share your programming environment, so that they can reproduce your results. So what I mean to say is that it will enhance the reproducibility of your code. Okay, so this is very important. And as a programmer, you should always be concerned about the reproducibility of the result of your code. Okay, so I will discuss in more details how to do this configuration of creating different Python environment for a particular project. Okay, so for a project specific environment, so we will be focusing on project specific environment, okay, rather than a general environment. Okay, so anyway, we need so now you can understand we need a Python programming environment to start with our Python coding. And so we are going to use a Jupyter Notebook as a Python programming environment, which is a very powerful tool, and I think this is one of the best way to start your Python journey, okay, if you are a beginner. And installation of Jupyter Notebook in Windows or in Linux, it's very easy. You just need to install the Anaconda package manager, which is a Python distribution of Anaconda. So Anaconda is basically a software that you need to install, so which contains various packages, various packages as NumPy, scikit-learn, SciPy, Pandas, and many more. Okay, so you just need to install the Anaconda package manager into your system. Okay, so what are the steps? So for doing that, the steps are very easy. You just need to go to the Anaconda website. So this is the website, the link is given here. So I will show you that. So this is the link for and you need to go to this download section, and here you can see that for Windows you have this Python 3.7 64-bit graphical installer. Okay, so here you can install, you should install this setup from this link. Okay, so 64-bit graphical installer, its size is about 466 MB. So after installation you will get a setup file into your download folder. So this you will get a setup file, and you just need to run it as a administrator. Okay, run as administrator, and then you should follow the installation, the normal installation procedure in Windows. And so basically you will do next things. So I will just show you few. Okay, so just you need to do this setup. Anaconda's setup will open, and you just need to do the next things. And here you should select installation type, install for just me, that is recommended. And this step is very important, that you should check this box that add Anaconda to my path environment variable, because if you check this box, then you can open your Jupyter Notebook in using from your command prompt. Okay, so this is important. You should check this box, otherwise you cannot open Jupyter Notebook from the command prompt. Okay, you can do that later on also by adding the path of Anaconda, but it will be better if you check this box during the installation. Okay, so please be careful when you are going to install the Anaconda. Okay, you should. And finally, you should, after the installation, you should launch your Jupyter Notebook from your command prompt. Okay, so I will show you how you can launch the Jupyter Notebook from command prompt. So I have already installed it, so I will just go to my command prompt, and before launching the Jupyter Notebook, I can do I will just go to my desktop folder. Okay, just for fun, I'm just going to my desktop folder. So next I'm going to show you what are the packages that are installed in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so for this the command is conda list. Okay, conda list, and it will show you the what are the packages. It will show you what are the packages are installed in my system. So these are the packages are installed in my system. Okay, these are the Python packages installed in my system. You can see also the Python version here. So here you can see that the Python version is my Python version is 3.5 because I installed it earlier, so I have 3.5, but if you install it right now, then you will get probably 3.7. And so many packages are already installed. Now I will show you how to launch the Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook, I will just type Jupyter Notebook over here, and it will launch the Jupyter Notebook. It will take some time, so I'm going to pause it for this time being. So it will actually, the Jupyter Notebook will open in your browser. Okay, so it will open into the browser. So here you can see that it is opening in the browser. So this is the local host. Okay, so it's like a cloud server, but it is not actually cloud server. Okay, it's just opening as a server. So here you can see this is showing us it is now in, so I opened it in my desktop, so it is showing my those desktop files and folders. So here I can create a new folder. Suppose my folder name is new untitled folder, so I'm renaming it as suppose new project. Okay, so I'm creating a folder, new project. I'm opening this folder, creating, and now I'm going to start a Python notebook, and here you should select Python default. I'm going to give a name to this Python notebook, so I'm just giving it as a practice notebook. Okay, so practice. So now I can write anything, any Python code over here. So I can write, suppose print, this is my first code in Jupyter Notebook. I'm just okay. So just going to print that. So you can write anything. You can import any. So I can import NumPy. Suppose NumPy as np, and I can declare a NumPy array equal to np dot array. Suppose 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this way I can, and I can print the A, and I can print, so there you can see, so I can print A, so A is a NumPy array, and I can also print the shape of A dot shape. So here you can see the shape is 2 cross 2. So this is basically a 2 cross 2 matrix. You can also interpret this as a 2 cross 2 matrix or array, a 2-dimensional array. Okay. So this way you can write any code in Jupyter Notebook. Okay. And this is very easy, but this is now running into my system environment. Okay, it is not a project specific environment. So in the next video I will show how you can create a project specific environment for Python environment, and how we can utilize that, how can we install new package into a project specific environment. For this we are going to use the Conda environment. Okay, and this package is actually installed in my system, but I don't need for every project I don't need so many types of packages, right? I just need few packages, so I will create a project specific environment for this. Okay, I will discuss on this in more details in the next video. Okay, so for this time being, you should install the Jupyter Notebook into your system, and you should be familiar with its with the basic programming of Python. So that's all for this video, and bye. Okay.